welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, then welcome. Today I will be talking about all the books that I plan to read in June. So I have 8 books that I put on my TBR for June. On average, I've been reading about 7 to 8 books a month, so I think this is a very reasonable TBR. However, I will be adding 3 more books to this TBR because I'm going to be doing a read it or unhaul it video really soon. And so I'm going to be reading 3 books in that video. So really I have 8, 9, 10, 11 books that I'm putting on my June TBR. No guarantee as always that I'll get to all of these, but I will try my best. So let's just get right to it. So let's talk about the book that I am currently reading right now, and that is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. This was a book that I put on my May TBR, but unfortunately I didn't end up getting to it, so I just transferred it over to my TBR for June, and it's the book that I am currently reading, and I am really enjoying this one. I am over halfway through it. Let's see, what page am I on? We gotta know. I am on page 264. So I've definitely made very good progress on this one, and this one has been very good. I've only read one other book by Ali Hazelwood, and that is Deep End, and I really enjoyed that one, so I am working my way through all of her books. And funny story, I did not realize that this book was released last year. For some reason, I thought this was one of Ali Hazelwood's first books. And come to find out that it was released in 2024, and I was like, what? What do you mean it was released last year? I thought this book shortly came after The Love Hypothesis, but it was released last year. So I was really bewildered bewildered because of that. I'm like, what? So yeah, this book is kind of like a recent release from hers, and I didn't even realize that. I don't know why I thought this book came out years ago. Super weird. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about all my feelings for this book in this TBR video because this is a TBR video, but I will give my further thoughts on this one in my June wrap up. But I will let you know I am enjoying it. It's pretty good. And along with Not in Love, I am also hoping to get to its sequel, even though this book has kind of been marketed as its own thing, but it is technically the sequel to Not in Love, and that is Problematic Summer Romance. This book just came out from Ali Hazelwood. At the end of May, this one came out. So this is a recent release that I'm hoping to pick up. All I know is that we're following characters that are featured in Not in Love, and that is Maya and Hart. I think his first name is Connor, and we're following them and their romance. And from what I know from Not in Love, I'm really interested in their relationship because Maya is much younger than Connor, and I am a sucker for age gap romances, so I'm really interested to see where the relationship goes. And Connor in Not in Love is kind of apprehensive to Maya. He's like, oh no, shouldn't go there, but Maya is all over him and she crushes on him. It's kind of cute. So I'm really excited to read this one and find out more about these two and see what happens with their romance and their relationship. I'm very fascinated by it. Next, I have another recent release. This book, I think, came out yesterday, and I took a trip to Target yesterday to pick up some books and browse the book section, and I found this one. This is one that I've been hearing a lot about because the marketing of this one has been really good. I've seen it all over social media, and it sounds interesting, and that is Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. This is an author that I've heard of before, but I've never read her books before, but she specializes in romance, I think really lighthearted romances. At least that's kind of the vibe her covers give off, and so I'm assuming that's the kind of vibe that I'll be getting from this book. It looks like it takes place during the summer, so this is a perfect one to read right now because summer is approaching. Other than that, I did read the synopsis and I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting, but I don't even remember what it's about now. I think it takes place in a camp. And I'm not going to read this. I'm not going to read the whole synopsis right now, but all I know is that it sounded really interesting to me. So we'll just see how it goes. The cover of it is absolutely gorgeous. I love the colors, and look at these sprayed edges. How pretty is that? So yeah, it's a very pretty book. Hopefully the inside will be just as great as the packaging, but we'll just see. Next, I have my Book of the Month book pick for this month. Fortunately, it came pretty early on in the month, so I can actually like hold up my book of the month book in my TBR, because I was not able to do that last month, and I think the month before, because my boxes have been coming pretty late. But my box came pretty early this time. And so my book of the month book pick for the month of June is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I have only read one other book by this author before, and she's a pretty well-known author, but I just haven't read a lot of her books. The only other book that I have read from her is This Savage Song, and I didn't even read the sequel to that book, which is a shame, because I really remember liking This Savage Song. I need to read that duology again, but I remember enjoying that one, so I think I'd be down to read more from her. And this is her newest release. It just came out. And I know in this one we're following 3 different characters in different time periods, and I believe they're vampires, and I will always love a good vampire book. So I'm really excited for this one based on what I've heard about it from the synopsis. It's quite chunky. I think it's like over 500 pages. It's quite long, so I'm kind of like apprehensive to put it on this TBR, because I feel like I'm putting a lot of books on my TBR for this month. But I'm going to get to it anyway. This is the book that I plan to get to after I finish Not in Love, so I have high hopes that it will be good. I'm really looking forward to getting to it. And lastly, for my physical books that I have here on this TBR, I have Satan's Affair by H.T. Carlton. This is a prequel book to her Cat and Mouse series, and come to find out that H.T. Carlton recommends that you read this novella before you read the Cat and Mouse duology, and I did not know that, and I was already like halfway into Haunting Adeline when I found out that information. But that's okay, because I'm sure I will still enjoy this novella even though I read Haunting Adeline first. Like, it's not a big deal. I'm sure it'll still be good. I know that in this novella, we're following Sibby, who is a major character that we are introduced to in the Cat and Mouse duet, and she's a very interesting character because she's kind of psychotic. She has, like, really, like, weird tendency. She's an odd girl, and so I'm really interested to find out her backstory that I know we'll be getting in this novella. So I have high hopes for this one. I'm a little scared because although I did like the Cat and Mouse duology, I did not love Where's Molly, which is another novella from this series. So I'm hoping that that won't be the case with this one, and I'll actually like it, but we'll just see. So yeah, I'll be starting this one really soon. Alright, now let's talk about the books that are on my TBR that are not in my possession yet. We gotta talk about my most anticipated book, pretty much of this year. I've been waiting for this one, and it comes out in June. And I'm so freaking excited. And that is Caught Up by Navessa Allen. This is the sequel to Lights Out, which I have talked about Lights Out so much. I think it is going to be my favorite book of the year. It's going to take a lot for something to surpass it. So, of course, I am really looking forward to the sequel. This one comes out next week, I believe. I do have it pre-ordered, so I'm going to be reading it very, very soon after I have it in my possession, because I have definitely been anticipating it. So this is a companion novel to Lights Out. We're following like different characters, but the male main character that we're following in this one, we do know of from Lights Out, and that is, I know his name is Junior. He's called Junior in the first book, but I think his actual name is Nico, I believe. All I know is that he's called Junior. So we're following him and his romance. I do know that this book also has like the same kind of stalker like plot line that Lights Out has, but like in a different scenario. I think from what I remember that the love interest is like some kind of famous something, like she's really famous, and so Junior stalks her because of that, because he's like obsessed with her, and so we're following their romance. So we'll see about this one. I am excited for it, but I am also like nervous that it will not live up to Lights Out, just because I hold Lights Out on such a huge pedestal that it will take a lot for something to surpass it. So we'll just see. Hopefully at least it is as good as Lights Out. but we will just see. Either way, I am very, very, very excited for it. Another new release that I have on this TBR is The Beautiful Maddening by Shay Earnshaw. I have only read one other book by this author, and that is The Wicked Deep, and I actually reread it recently. That is a book that I absolutely love, and so I definitely want to read more from this author. She has quite a few other books out that I just have never read before. Haven't read them yet, and so I thought it would be a good time to read her newest release that is coming out. I have this book pre-ordered, should be arriving soon, and all I know is that I think it's an urban fantasy. It definitely takes place in modern day, and that's about it, so we'll just see how it goes. And the last book that I have on my TBR is Lover Eternal by J.R. Ward. This is the second book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. I have read this book before. I've read the first 8 books in this series, and I am rereading the entire series from the start, and hopefully this time around I'll be able to continue on just reading the entire series. This series has like over 20 books in it, so it's a long series that I'm trying to make my way through. I remember really loving the second book in this series. I really enjoyed the main characters, so I am looking forward to rereading it again. I'm sure I'll love it just as much the second time. So yeah, those are the books that I plan to read in June. Usually when I do my TBR videos, I have adopted the TBR jar prompt pick trend, and I enjoy doing that, but because I am going to be doing a read it or unhaul it video, I will not be including the TBR jar in this video, because realistically I will not be able to get to more than like 11 books probably this month. So I'm not going to do that, but I will be doing my read it or unhaul it video. And so if you're interested, you can find out the additional 3 books that I will be reading when that video comes out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I have mentioned. I would love to know. And with that said, I'll be back really soon. Bye!